Hello, this is Raphael Freeman from Running Our Typesetting, and in this video we're going to look at running heads and more specifically long running heads. So let's jump to a fairly random page of the book, and here we have a spread of 2 pages, and in this particular book we're going to be putting running heads here at the top of the page. These folios are looking rather lonesome, so we're going to have some little running heads there to keep them company. So in some books this is simply done by putting the title of the book on the verso and the author name on the recto. So let's say your book is a simple book and you want to go ahead and do that. How would we do that? Well, we simply take the title of the page, okay, so we can copy and paste it, and put it into the master page, put it over there. So that's there, and then we're going to take the title of the author, okay, and copy and paste that, and we're going to place that over there, and oopsie daisy, I've done something wrong there. There we go, and then if I jump back to that random page, I think it was 83, then we see that we have the verso with the title of the book and the recto with the author name. Great, that was a fast video. But what happens though if we want to have something a little bit more interesting? So if we go back, this is chapter 2, Preserving the Old. So let's say we decide for this book that we want to have, instead of the author name over here, we want to have the name of the chapter title. Okay, and by the way, we're just going to in this video play with the recto, but obviously you could do similar things on the verso as well. So how do we go about doing that? And the way that we do that is we create a text variable. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the master page, and I'm going to go into Kenneth Berg. I'm going to highlight this author, okay, can get rid of that now, and I'm going to now go to text variables and do define. We have to create a new text variable, so we can create new, and we're going to call this RH recto, and we're going to base this on the paragraph style chapter title. Now we have other options here like delete end punctuation, which I don't want. Changing case, not really relevant, it's all in small caps. Use first on the page, and we see there's a preview here that's going to show you in angle brackets RH recto. And now we're just going to insert it, and because we'd highlighted Kenneth Berger on the master page, it's written now RH recto, which is exactly what we want. Now if we jump back to chapter 2, Preserving the Old, on the next spread we now have Preserving the Old on the recto, and this is going to continue up until the next chapter, which I've no idea where it is. So let's jump ahead to, let's say, page 206, 206, 207, and as we can see, we have, now we have a problem, because this chapter title, the chapter title here is actually quite long, and it kind of is a bit squished up here. And in fact, if we go now to page 49, it's even more squished up. And that's the problem that we have. InDesign doesn't allow to put titles over 2 lines. Not that I would necessarily put it over 2 lines in a book like this. So we have a problem. What do we do? So one solution would be make the running heads font really, really small. That would solve the problem. Or a very narrow font, but wouldn't be very aesthetic. We could ask the author to change the name of his chapter title, but we don't really like doing that. I don't think that's a very good mechanism. So what we can do is we can go back to our master page, and we see here there's RH recto. So let's just remember that for a second. So we're going to go back now. I'm purposely going to jump to the next page, page 49, and I'm going to go into define, text variable define, and I'm going to go to RH recto and edit it. Now, if you notice here, the type was running head paragraph style. Well, I can choose that to a character style. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a character style on the fly. I've already probably got right the name in, but let's just call it recto, and hopefully I don't already have a recto. And I don't. Good. Yes, excellent. And great. Except now it's disappeared. Well, it's disappeared because I've created a new character style, which I've put here on the let's organize this alphabetically so I can actually find it. Okay, so here I've got a new paragraph style called recto. We'll give that a shortcut so I can easily apply it. So I've called it Shift F9. Okay, So what I can now do is I can say, well, let's highlight the old will be renewed and apply the style recto. Great. So now I've got a short paragraph and I've solved the problem. The only difficulty with this system is that now if I get to another chapter 2 now, it still says it all be renewed. In other words, I'm going to have to highlight every single chapter title and apply the style recto, which is a little bit annoying and has other problems as well. For example, what happens if you made preserving italics? Now, we can't get the italics to appear in the running head, but at least we want to have it in the chapter title. If I now apply recto to it, then, oh, it still works. I actually did not know that. Okay, so that's fine, but it's annoying to have to do it each time. So we're going to undo. We're going to undo again. We need to come up with a better system. Okay, so what we can do is, and this is the clever bit, is we're going to now alter the chapter title. And what we're going to say is edit chapter title, and we're going to do a drop caps and nested style. And we're going to say a new nested style called, obviously, recto. Okay? And I'm not going to say it for one word. I'm going to say make everything recto until you see the end nested style character. Okay, now if I switch on invisibles, I can remember how to do that. Okay, so now what we have is, firstly, every chapter is now, all of it has got RH recto. Now, how do I know that? Sorry, recto. If we look at the character styles on the right, you'll see it doesn't have a character style. This has a style called italic text. You can see that at the top, it's very small. If I scroll down, you'll see it highlighted. But if you look at the bottom of this thing, you'll see that there's a pilcrow, a paragraph symbol with the word recto, which means that all of this, including this character style, has got another character style called recto. Now this becomes interesting. Remember that I said, and I'm going to edit this again so you can see it, that it's recto through one end nested style character. So that means if I place, let's say here, and I go into insert, I have to actually find the special character. Insert, symbol, not symbol, we'll find it. A marker, nope. End nested style here, which I've made a shortcut of Alt-Shift backslash. Then what will happen is, if you've got your invisible showing, it will demonstrate, see this backslash, that's why I called it Alt-Shift backslash. You see this backslash. And then what will happen is that now we can have on the top of the next page the old will. Okay, so if we now move this symbol, okay, and let's say we place it over here, okay, then it will be the old will be renewed. Now this mechanism of shortening it is absolutely fantastic if all you have to do is truncate the paragraph. If all you have to do is truncate the paragraph and the author or the editor says, well, we just want to have up from here to here, that's going to be the running head, then fantastic. But what happens if the editor says, well, yeah, we don't actually want that. We want something a little bit more. And you say, well, what do you mean? So, well, it doesn't make sense if we just truncate it. So we want it to be shorter, but we actually want to have different text. So let's say the text is going to be, so I'm going to reword this on the fly, and hopefully it'll make sense when I finish rewording it. So I've highlighted all the text and now pasting it. So now we have all the text appearing twice. So then we can say, let's see, V'hurachum interpreted and reinterpreted. Let's just say they want the second part of the sentence for that to be the running head. Okay, not the old will be renewed. Okay, I wasn't very ambitious there. So we put in our end nested style character, and now we've got a running head that works. It's not squished. It all fits in there. except obviously we don't want to have the chapter title to be so long. So what we do here is we're now going to make this text invisible. Now, how do we make it invisible? Now I have a little script that makes it invisible, and by the way, if you choose to like this video and subscribe to my channel, then you can drop me a comment and say, can I have the free script, or send me an email and I will send you that free script. But what does the free script actually do is we highlight the text and we then make the text, we do a few things to the text. We make the text blank paper, and then we make the text extremely narrow. So in the character panel, we make it 0.1% narrow. Can't make it 0.1%, that's why I use the script. 1% narrow. Okay, and then I don't want to have even that thickness there. I make the size of the font 0.1. Okay, so I have a little script that does that, so I can do that instantly. So there we go. So now that's all I need to do. So now I've got my running head being the text that we placed at the beginning, and I've hidden it. So now let's go to another chapter. Go to chapter 2. Chapter 2, I don't have to do anything, because if I click on the text, just to remind you, I'm just going to move that out of the way. So I've got all these little panels in the way. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's put our character styles here. So go to our character styles, and at the bottom of the screen, okay, it shows recto. Okay, now let's go to chapter 5, which I happen to is on page 205. On page 205, again, all of it is recto, okay, and it's way too long. So again, I can either choose to put in, and I'm going to show the invisibles, I can either choose to end my nested style character here, and then it will say Sephardic influences. But if I wanted to have different text here, let's say I want to have the 16th and the 17th centuries. So then I get rid of the end nested style. I copy and paste the text that I want to be at the beginning, or any other text. I stick in my end nested styles, and then I run the script. Okay, and I'm going to find the script here. I have shortcuts for everything, so I don't actually remember anything. My script here called hide text, and I just click on that, and then it does all those things that I showed you before. Okay, so let's move my script panel out of the way, and then we can see on the next page it says the 16th and 17th centuries. If you've enjoyed this video, then please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you did not, I'm not quite sure why you waited all the way to the end of the video to get to this point. So, assuming that you have, then I'm glad you've enjoyed it. If you'd like to find out about more videos when they come up, then I would suggest subscribing to this channel. If you have a manuscript that needs typesetting, or you just have a general question about the video, you can leave it in the comments below, or you can go over to our website and see what other services we also provide. Until the next time, this was Raphael Freeman from Running Our Typesetting.